Greetings, cyber dogs! This is RENDOG coming at you from what is slowly becoming the NPC railway line in this Let's Play Minecraft 1.3 survival series. In the previous episode, we were laying down a wooden track that is going to hold the rails and is going to lead all the way to the NPC village. And man, it was a pretty epic undertaking, but I was busy telling a story, so I kind of lost track of the time, and it kind of flew by, actually. And I'm going to finish off the story that I was telling in this episode, guys. So this is actually a serious call for you to please go and watch the previous episode if you haven't, because I'm going to. This is a continuation of a story that I was telling in the previous episode. So you don't want to miss out on what the hell I'm talking about, because I'm going to continue now. So guys, why don't you put this episode on pause, go watch the previous episode, and then you'll be completely caught up with the storyline that I'm talking about. So. Whew, damn, guys. What was I talking about? Okay, so this is just, I'm just continuing recording from the previous episode. I'm not even stopping because I want to keep the story fresh in my mind. So what I was telling you guys is about the Silkworm gang. I was the leader of the Silkworm gang at school. It was a gang that I put together myself, and members of which I recruited for myself. And we had a really sweet fort underneath a mulberry tree that we lost in a gang war to a butthole called Gareth and his freaking space gang noobs. And when I left off the story, we were basically relegated to the space gang's terrible fort underneath the... What the heck? Ah, there we go. Underneath this building, basically. This horrible building with rusty stuff everywhere. I mean, it was seriously horrible. And we were sitting there, and we were so angry. It was me, and I'm sort of remembering the names of the guys now. There was one guy called Steven, one guy called Reese, one guy called Nick, one guy called Jeremy, and one guy called Andrew. Yeah, those are the guys that were with me at that meeting, and they were also in the original gang. They were some of the original members, and we decided that this was absolute bull, man. We were not going to let a butthole like Gareth steal our freaking fort and destroy the legacy of the Silkworm gang that we'd built. And we basically decided we were going to take him out. And for the next 3 or 4 weeks, what we did was we prepared their fort, basically. And the reason that I started the story is because doing all the redstone wiring and making the trap and stuff reminded me a lot of those times. Because basically what we did was, the plan was to not attack Gareth at the Silkworm gang fort, because, you know, they would have home ground advantage, and they had probably prepared defenses and stuff already. So what we would do is we would try and get them to come and fight us in our new fort, which was Gareth's old fort, and we would use the home advantage against them. So what we started to do for the next 3 or 4 weeks after that is we started preparing this new fort, the space fort, for battle. And we started to make a lot of traps, and the traps became quite intricate. We started making tripwire traps, right? So the tripwire we'd run this piece of cord, like some fishing line that we'd steal from our dads, and we'd run that fishing line all the way up above the top of the space fort, and the tripwires would hold like you know, like what did we have in there? We had a couple bags of like rotting apples. We also had a lot of bags of dust, so like just dust. I don't know, for some reason we thought that dust would be a brutal attack. Be careful, man, I'm gonna dust your ass. Anyway, now that I'm thinking about it, it's pretty stupid. But anyway, you know, we had quite a lot of good traps going on, and we would run that fishing line all the way down from the top. So we'd hang it over a branch, and then that would be holding like the whatever container we wanted to drop on top of somebody, like if it was a bag of dust or whatever it was. And then that tripwire would run all the way down to the floor, and underneath some stones or some rocks, and it would also, you know, we would try and hide it behind like vines and leaves and stuff, so that you wouldn't see the tripwire running down the wall. But you would, if you looked up, you would see these things dangling above you. But anyway, we just assumed that they wouldn't look up for some reason. So we made like 3 or 4 of these intricate traps, And the first couple times we made them, they kept tripping because it was winter time and the rocks would get cold, I think, and move out of place. And so the traps would keep tripping. But eventually we found a way using sticks and various other methods to make the traps not trip at all. And it started working out really, really well. And we stockpiled a whole bunch of... Basically, one of the Silkworm Gang members brought a whole bunch of plastic bags that he'd stolen from his mom's kitchen one day. And we filled those bags with dust, like really fine, horrible dust. And hey man, there's actually a water source over there. I didn't even notice that. Anyway, and we had like a stockpile of this stuff, and we had sticks also that we were gonna use as swords, basically. And we were ready for battle, man. And in the build-up to the Great War, which is what it became known as, the Great War of '94. Basically, was it 94? I don't know. Who knows? It was a long time ago. We started taunting Gareth. We started saying to him like, "Oh, you're so crap. Your gang is useless. Like, you know, you had to steal a fort. Like, that's how bad you are. You couldn't even build your own fort. Like, what kind of a butthole gang do you have? We have to steal another fort. Like, what? You know, that's just pathetic." And he got really taunted. And one day, a paper ball hit me in the head during class, and it was from Gareth, and it was another declaration of war note, which he for some reason loved throwing at my head. Man, I hated that butthole. And he basically declared war on us again, and the note said, I can't remember what it said, but it was like, "We're going to take your fort again," you know, that kind of vibe. And he played perfectly into our hands. And I was just like, yes. And in those days, we didn't have mobile phones or anything, so I couldn't send text messages or anything to the other members. But we sat quite close to each other in one of the classes that we were in, so I was able to communicate with them using small pieces of paper. And man, that was some laying the wood down like a boss. That was sweet. Oh, and we've hit the NPC village, guys. Sweet. Yes, this is awesome. That was weird. Hello, NPC village. Man, that Enderman wants my ass. So, anyway. Man, that Enderman is freaking me out. So, the ground was set, the war was declared, and battle was going to begin. And we were really, really excited. In fact, we couldn't wait to start the battle. I might as well start laying down the tracks from this side. See how far we get. We're not going to get very far, I think. And so, man, that morning of the battle was like the most exciting morning, I think, of my entire junior school career. I couldn't wait for battle, man, because we'd been preparing for so long. And it was about to kick off. And as the lunch bell rang, the Silkworm Gang and the Space Gang, we both got up off our seats and ran outside toward the Space Gang fort, because that is where the battle was going to take place. Gareth had already said he was going to take back the space fort from us, so we knew that he was going to invade. So we had to run faster than him, and we actually knew a shortcut around the tennis courts at the back of the school to get to the Space Gang, the space fort, really quick. So we actually got there first, and as we got there, we put up a whole bunch of wooden planks with bricks and stuff in front of the entrance, so that those freaking buttholes couldn't get through the entrance, or they'd have to climb over the wall, right? And as we got that fence up, they slammed into the wall, and the whole thing like shook, because 4 or 5 of them had jumped into the wall to try and get in, but we'd locked them out, and we put a huge bar of wood across the front of that door to secure it, and they couldn't get in. And they started throwing stuff over the walls, lots of smoke bombs and lots of fruit and like bits of melon and yogurt pots and weird crap like that. And eventually one of them started kicking at the door, and eventually the door buckled. But by that stage, we'd already positioned ourselves behind like fortifications that we'd built, and we'd made like shields out of bricks and stones and wood and stuff, and we were hiding behind those fortifications, waiting for these buttholes to break into the space fort. And as they broke off, the first trap was under their feet, and they hit that freaking trap, and above above them was a whole bunch of like mud and water. We'd mixed half water, half sand, and that poured all over them and basically landed on the first two guys that had come in and like went straight into their eyes, and they ran away trying to clean the stuff out of their eyes. And then 2 or 3 more of them came in by that stage, and as they came in, we just pelted them with smoke bombs and water bombs and everything as they came in. And then those guys ran away, and then finally Gareth came in by himself, and as he walked in, he hit one of the other traps, and it was like a swinging one, and this bag of dust swung across the space fort, and it was beautiful, man. It happened in like slow motion. It like sort of swung like this, and it just smacked him right in the face, and almost broke his nose. His nose started bleeding, and basically he just started crying like a baby. Well, I mean, you know, we were only 10 at that stage, so I think we kind of took it a little bit too far, but we basically won the battle, and we basically took the Silkworm Fort back from that butthole, and it was an awesome day, and it's a day that I'll always remember. It's one of my fondest memories as a human. And you know, the battle ended, and it feels so vivid in my mind, like it happened yesterday. And the battle ended, and we huddled under the building inside the space fort afterwards, and we were so happy, and like, you know, we were really brought together by that whole incident, or that whole thing. The whole thing like sort of brought us very close together as friends. And the weird thing is, once the battle was over, it was kind of like all the animosity between the Space Gang and the Silkworm Gang just disappeared, and we all just walked back to class together, just like as if we were going to a football match together or something, you know, and everything was forgotten, well, except for Gareth, who ran home to his mum, and he ran like to go and phone his mum to tell on us, or to tell the teachers about what we'd done to him. So when we got back to class, we were covered in yogurt and dust and water and all manners of disgusting stuff. And Gareth had already told the teacher what had happened, and the teacher made us line up outside, all of us. And we must have just looked like a complete mess, like we'd just come out of I don't know, man. I don't know. We must have looked absolutely crazy, just covered in filth, basically. I'm just collecting all the railways that I can, guys, by the way. And we're going to need all this iron also. And yeah, man, the teacher lined us up outside, and she was so unbelievably angry with us. It was pretty scary. And she demanded, because Gareth had told her that I was the leader of the Silkworm Gang, so she made me come step forward, and I stepped forward, and she said, "What the hell is this? You know, you broke Gareth's nose." And the rest of it I don't really remember, because I think it was probably like a traumatic period, you know, like this really awesome afternoon of fantasy had just come to an end. But man, it was sweet times. And I do believe that's the longest story that I've ever told on this series. That was 2 episodes worth of story, guys. I'm sorry if that dragged on a bit, but I was thinking last night that I really wanted to tell you guys that story, because it's, you know, playing this game really helps me with, you know, understanding all of that. And man, I just realized that I built an auto starting platform in the Molehole station, and I haven't shown you yet. Man, I'm a butthole. Sorry about that, guys. I will show you that that now. In fact, we'll go back now and I'll show you. I just want to see if I have any more railways here. I don't think I do. We need all the wood we can get, though. No, we don't have any railways here. Man. Or any diamonds, for that matter. We need these poles, too. So yeah, I figured out, guys, thanks to you guys, I figured out how to make an automatic, how to make this rail start. Remember, I've been having trouble making this thing start, but one of you guys laid out in text exactly how I should build the auto starting rail system, and by jingo, it works. So I'm going to show you now, guys, exactly how it works. Man, it is sweet. Ah, and this is actually going to take us all the way into Molehole Station, which is awesome. We're actually going to be, this is the first time we've used our railway properly. So here we go. Underneath the mohole. Chugga 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 chugga. Toot toot. You get a huge. Ooh, we actually made it. Awesome. You get a Rendog high five if you get that reference. So check it out, guys. I wanted to show you. It's actually on the other rail system though. I wanted to show you the auto starting rail system. So one of you guys told me all you have to do is have a block behind the powered rail and a button connected to the powered rail, and then that just needs to be on a ramp, and this will actually automatically start. So watch this, guys. I'm so sorry that I didn't show you this. I'm sure that you guys have spotted this and were just like, what the hell happened there? Watch this, guys. Blam! Oh yes, that's right. You saw that properly. You saw that correctly. That is called awesomeness. Oh man, I'm so happy with that. So I'm going to replicate this design on all the platforms. And one of you, some of you guys had mentioned that the platform stuff is confusing, but this actually stops the confusion, because if I want to go on this railway, I can only enter on this platform. And that's exactly the same for this railway. I'll only be able to enter here. And I will only be able to enter here. Although this is going to be a bit of a problem, I think, these side rails. But, wow, guys, I need to take a break because I've been talking for ages, and my voice is hurting me, and we're running out of hard drive space. And in the next episode, we're going to finish off building these railway lines. And we're gonna try and get a railway all the way to the NPC village. Whether it's possible or not, I do not know. But hopefully it is. We're also going to try get some more levels, because we died like a butthole. Killed by an Enderman. Man. I'm still thinking about that, and it hurts me. It freaking hurts me, man. Alright, let's see how many rails we can get out of this, actually. Blam! Man, that is a lot. Alright, so I don't know if we're going to... I don't think we'll have too much problems, too many problems filling up the railway, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, I'm just messing around here. And we need to get back to level 30 also, so we're going to be doing some butthole farming in the next episode too. I promise you guys, Dogolith is coming in a few episodes' time. But for now, I need to take a break. This has been Rendog playing Minecraft 1.3 Survival. If you've enjoyed it, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and you better subscribe. You better subscribe, you hear me? Guys, we'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.